Our world really needs a morale boost. Plus, I need something to lift my own spirits. Maybe you do too. And it's June Pride. I'm Thomas Roberts. This is Gay Good News. Hi, everybody. I'm Thomas Roberts. It's great to have you with me today. And I'm sorry we were running a few minutes late because of technical difficulties on my end. Now, if you saw Wednesday's show, you know that technical difficulties seem to find me no matter where I am. But we've been having issues with the internet today. So hopefully we won't have any interruptions during this half hour because we have a lot planned for you. And we made it to the end of the week. So that's enough to celebrate right there. And we've had a great week as it is. But yeah, we've had some interruptions today with our Wi-Fi, which hopefully won't give us any troubles through this half hour. So we've got a lot of things to talk about today, several of which are announcements that I'm going to be getting to. Also want to get some of your feedback in that we've gotten. A lot of great feedback we've had through the week from friends and followers alike. And many people are really thankful that I had Patrick on Wednesday, which I am very thankful that I had Patrick on Wednesday too. If you watched that episode, you saw him come in and save my butt because of the open and then the interview not playing correctly. And it was a little bit wild, but he is a lifesaver for sure. Now, if you go to our YouTube channel and check out our YouTube channel, you will find an edited version there that's even funnier than the version that went out live. It's edited up and enhanced a little bit. So you can check that out and see for yourself just how awkward it was. It was pretty awkward. But we're trying to be, as self-deprecating as we can about it. I felt terrible about it after it was over. I really did. I felt like a real numbskull because it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be accessible. And I kind of just really messed it up. But hopefully today is going to go better because we have a wonderful interview with a friend and a comedian who I just think is hilarious and funny. And she is a great woman. So take a look at this. This is my opportunity to find out that, yes, you can say that. Take a look at my sit down with the fabulous Judy Gold. We welcome the fabulous Judy Gold to our show for Gay Good News. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Thomas. I'm so happy to see your face. I can't even tell you.
I'm very happy to see your face, too.
I know.
This is so nice.
So handsome. I just went on a bike ride. I had a helmet on. I mean, I'm sweating. I have no makeup up. But you know what? This is what I have to say. Rachel Ray does her show every day. Not a stitch of makeup. I love her even more now.
Really?
Yes, nothing. Like,
is that a new thing?
Nothing.
Is that a COVID thing? That's a COVID thing?
I think it's a COVID thing. But you know what? I realize I have wasted so much time putting on makeup. Like, who cares? I'm a comic. I mean, look, when I'm doing a live performance, of course, I'll put on a little makeup. But, who do I have to impress? I'm 57. I'm a lesbian. Like, who cares? I have kids. I'm married. Well, I'm not married, but I'm kind of married, engaged. But it's like, what's funny? My friend Maddie said this. It's like, we've never looked our worst, women that is, and we've never had to look at our faces more,
With the Zoom stuff.
Yes.
Are you doing tons of Zooms?
Zoom, like it's every day. Yeah, I do a lot of Zoom stuff. Initially, I was like, but now, you get used to it. I just,
right.
When you're in the room with someone, you get there, you see body language, there's just way more of a connection. It's not good for stand-up comedy, but for interviewing, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine for stand-up, it's been pretty tough on you because your 2020, if we could just review, was going to be pretty epic.
My 2020, I was so, first of all, I wrote a book. It's coming out. We'll talk about that, I guess. And then
we will.
I just got, my podcast, Kill Me Now. One of my last album came out, and then I got cast in a Broadway show, which
is awesome. I mean, that's incredible.
I've done a lot of off-Broadway, and I was just like, I don't have to worry. You know what it's like when you're a gig worker. It's like, okay, I don't have to worry for 9 months. It's never like I don't have to worry for 20 years. It's always like, And I was like, oh my God, finally, I've been doing this for over 35 years, finally, and boom. But it's so funny because when I got the Broadway show, I said to my agent and manager, with my luck, the theater will burn down the first night of previews. At PS, cut to a week later, it's like, hi, sorry.
Well, and so what's been the I guess overall plan to come back? Because I mean, Broadway's down for the basically
Yeah,
year, right?
I think we are, as far as stand-up clubs, I think we're on the same calendar as Broadway. I mean, here's the thing. You can't do stand-up without an audience. Like, we can't even do our work, like our rehearse. We write our bits in front. Like, you all see a work in progress when you go to a comedy club. Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, even if there was a Broadway show and they knew they were coming back in January, they could quarantine for 2 months and rehearse and do their work. We can't do our work without an audience. Actually, Thomas, almost 2 weeks ago, I did stand up at a drive-in movie theater in Queens on the back of a flatbed truck. The audio was going.
That's pretty cool. That's cool.
It was like I had to do it because I was like dying to get on stage. But I'm like 57. I'm on the back of a flatbed truck. The audio's going through their radio, and they would laugh by flicking their lights, And
that's like the old beatniks. You getting them.
Yeah, and I'm doing like these stupid jokes, like, "Hey Chevy, what's your problem? Oh, come on, Volkswagen, you're anti-Semitic." It was like so stupid, but it was like I needed that, There are people that are doing like outdoor shows and stuff like that. Which I'm happy to do. But I did a Zoom show, and my son Henry set up this whole comedy club look behind me. I have a mic, and I have all this equipment, like I could just live in my apartment or my house in P-Town. And I did a Zoom show, and you could hear them laughing, but there's nothing like live performance. You know what I mean?
The energy is so different. The energy you feed off of as that performer.
Right.
And to know if you're in the pocket or not.
Right. And also, so the club's opening, it's like, you think of Broadway, they could say, all right, one person every 2 seats, right? But a comedy club, we're right on top of it. It's so intimate. Plus you're spitting,
Not more. Better not.
Right. And people's mouths are open, but, they'll wear masks and stuff. Right before the pandemic, right before, like, March 14th, I left the city and we went to our house in Provincetown because everything would shut down. And I was like, oh, I'll go for 2 weeks, 2.5 months later. But I'm here in New York again. But that last week, they were putting condoms on mics. They were washing the mics. Every comic got their own mic. And then they'd put a condom on. They'd clean it and then put a condom on it. When I went and did my show on the flatbed truck, I brought my own mic. I mean...
What's
it's
the condom?
so weird. It's so Thomas.
Why can't you just what do you need? Like, and the condom stays on there while you're performing?
No, they take it off and then they put a new one on. They had multiple mics, so each comic got their own mic.
What does the condom do?
So the spit. I don't know. Who the hell knows? I don't use condoms. I'm gay.
You do now if you're performing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I bring my own.
A lot of firsts in 2020,
Yeah.
That's for sure. But I want to know more about the book. Let's talk about this because I do have the cover art that I want to show. Tell us about this title.
That. Oh, I see someone has one of those ring lights.
I might. Yeah, right there.
How about how everyone has a ring light and all you see are ring lights in people's eyeglasses? I don't have my ring light on, by the way, FYI.
But let's talk about there's a real book. But tell me about the title.
Okay, so it's Yes I Can say that. It's and then the subtitles, When They Come for the Comedians, We're All in Trouble, which is true. It's really about the First Amendment through the eyes and the perspective of a comic, and then it's also there's a lot of history of comedy. You learn a lot. And it came about because I was doing Vice News on HBO, did a piece on these college bookers who book comics, right? and they're young, they're in their like early 20s, and they would book comics and then tell them what topics they could talk about, what words they could use and couldn't use. And they had me on for, the opposite perspective. And I was like, can I curse on this Facebook Live thing?
If you want to, go for it.
Who the fuck are you to tell a comedian what they can or cannot say on stage? Like, that's our time. We've gotten so politically correct, and it's silencing people. So it's like, you can't say, if you say you can't use this word, you're not looking at the whole picture. What's the intent of the comic? What's the context of the joke? Nuance, all this stuff. It's like, stop closing your mind off and think about what the comic is trying to say. And, we get in a lot of trouble because we are truth tellers. We tell the truth. And, a lot of people these days are not fond of the truth. And, we get vilified for a joke we did 15 years ago, or we get canceled for, a joke we did that went across the line. By the way, we don't know where the line is until we've gone in front of an audience and most of the time and gone over the line and go, okay, I got to push it back. That's how we do our work, So this idea that, okay, sorry, I can't say that anymore. You can't say that. It's no.
But so,
it's the antithesis.
A student body campus. I mean, a student body board that came up with this, or say
it's
a board of directors on campus.
A lot of comics won't do colleges anymore. Like Chris Rock won't do colleges anymore. There's a story about Nimesh Patel, he's a great comic, and he was doing a gig at Columbia, and he has this joke about this African American guy who's, I'm paraphrasing the joke, but that he's really effeminate, and the joke, the essence of the joke is that, it's not a choice. That's really what he's saying. It's like, if this guy who is already a person of color, is so blatantly effeminate and out as a gay person, you can't say this is a choice, because it's not. It's that is not. It's not funny, but that's the essence. That's what he's trying to say. They hear a word and they cut his mic in the middle of his set. This is at Columbia, which is supposed to be the bastion of free speech. In 1968, everyone was like picketing at Columbia. So the idea that you don't understand, I didn't turn my phone off, the nuance, or the moral of this show, because great comics not only make you laugh, but they make you think.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that, that's really part of the reason why I wanted to make sure to celebrate Pride, to have a show like this, to be able to focus on members of our community like you, and celebrate those straight allies that are with us as well, because there's been such a diminished coverage for our community this month, especially because of so much cancellation, and for good reason, because of the pandemic. But there are people, we expect the coverage. We expect something at this time of year,
right,
to remind us of how far we've come, but also to make sure that we've got the guardrails up, that we don't get lazy,
right,
and allow things to kind of slip away from us.
Right.
I would imagine that's really tough on a professional front for you, thinking about censorship in general.
Right. Exactly.
And having some 20-something kid tell you, well, we're going to have you on, but here's your do not.
Yeah, this is what you, no, sorry. And, comics get better as they age because we have more life experience, and people who have, what I think about, Thomas? I think about when Hillary was running against who. Sorry, not a fan. And, I remember a lot of young women saying, oh, you know what, I'm good. It doesn't have to be her. I'm going to see a woman president in my lifetime. And, and then you put that side by side with this 100-year-old woman who was, couldn't wait. She was alive, when women got the right to vote, and she was voting for a woman. And just because of her life experience, she knows it's not that easy. Like, you haven't lived enough as a woman in the world to see how difficult it is. So you're saying, you know what, it doesn't have to be her. I like Bernie or whomever, or what's his name, Johnson, whatever the guy's name, Gary Johnson, whatever. So, because I don't like Hillary, so I don't want it to be her. It's like, look, you don't know. We still look at when you turn on the TV and you see this administration, in particular, white men, and that's not what this country is. We are the greatest country because we have so many immigrants and people.
Yeah, we're melting pot.
We are a melting pot. Yeah. And just recently, they're passing a bill about gay people adopting kids. Like, come on, are you crazy? Well, we fought so hard. All right, this is so Jewy, but my mother, when I was growing up, used to always be like, Judith, they all hate us. Everyone hates us. They're always going to blame us. And I was like, Ma, you're crazy. But she was right. But she knew because she lived, for she had so much more life experience.
Before about the scapegoating.
Yeah, and it's like, look, Thomas, you're a gay man. I sorry if I'm outing you. But, I'm sure when you see young gay men who are, oh, I don't have to worry about AIDS. I don't have to worry about HIV. And you're like, actually, you do. I mean, you do. You don't know what it was like at that time, Well,
no, that's why we need to celebrate and mark our achievements and know
right.
Know where we're going.
We've come so far, and we're so inclusive,
Well, we still have a ways to go, and I think that's another reason why it was important to do a show like this and to have wonderful members of our community on as well as the all-important straight ally, because the headlines that we have to live through today, that are very important to live through today, are good reason why we're not having major pride celebrations this month, because our attention really needs to be focused elsewhere. Before, just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right.
So we need to be ready to show up, for everybody who needs us. When and wherever that is.
Right. I totally agree. I mean, look, there's no pride parades. There's no, hey, we're here, we're queer. There's other things that we're dealing with now that take precedent over that. But it doesn't mean that we still don't have a community, and that we are proud, and we have a lot to be proud about, and we still have a lot of work to do.
So now the book, though, so I can pre-order the book right now, right?
You can, and I just did the audiobook. I just recorded it last week. I ended up loving the book even more, and
you feel like it was a really intimate experience, though.
Right. And then I was thinking about like people listening to it in their cars, like that. I want them to be engaged, and I think it's a really important book. I think one of the greatest things about it is that if you're a comedy fan, you really understand comedy and how it's a unifier and how it heals people. I talk about comics with cerebral palsy or cerebral palsy. I always say it wrong. A little person. Just I have an intersex comic who I found in the UK who came out as intersexed on stage, and just how when you see when you make someone laugh, right, they automatically like you. It's disarming, right? And for a comedian to get up there and say, listen, hi, I'm funny, and people's like, oh, I love her, and then you find something out about them, and it demystifies it. It's like when I came out in the mid-90s on stage as a gay parent, it was like all these straight parents were like, Oh, it's the same stuff we go through.
Right.
Exactly.
There's so
We're
much
all
alike.
laughing at the same thing. So
Yeah.
maybe when you go vote now, you'll think of me and my family and say, yeah, they deserve equality and dignity.
So is it okay to laugh right now? I mean, is it okay
I
to
think,
tell jokes? You know?
I get that question a lot, and I think
Sorry, hold on, my mother's
yes.
calling.
Hi, Ma. She's gorgeous.
Well, Mom, can I call you right back? I'm interviewing Judy Gold.
She doesn't care. Who?
Oh, she said, go, go. Okay, love you.
Um, I think it's always, there's. I think yes, we have to laugh. My mother used to say, if we weren't laughing, we'd be crying. And
Yeah.
we do need to laugh. It is a healer, and there are funny things about not the death and destruction, but there are funny things about COVID. Like the other night when I had people over for dinner, and they're like, "All right, we got to go," and I was like, "Oh, I don't have to get up and hug them goodbye." I was so happy,
Hey, please table.
you know.
Please take your
Um,
dishes to the sink and get out.
yeah, have fun. And Jackie Hoffman, I love. She's an ally. She's a huge ally, and she had a tweet when we were having when this George Floyd thing is
Yep.
so breaks my heart, but it's so many. It's he's the tipping point. But she said it's Pride today. It was June 1st. And I know that we're dealing with Black Lives Matter, but knowing the gays will get some airtime. It was a funny way of acknowledging pride, but yet acknowledging that we have other issues that are on
Mhm.
the table right now. And that's what comedy does. It tells you a story. It surprises you. You know what? It's so important to talk about uncomfortable things,
Yeah.
and comedy is the most palatable way to discuss uncomfortable topics, and come out where, I know it's so hard for so many people to come out because of their circumstances, but the more people who come out, the more everyone in this country will know that they know and love
Yeah.
an LGBTQIAPUSTUVWXYZ person,
Yeah. No, I mean, it all starts with just telling one person. And,
Right.
we have a special day for that coming up in October with Coming Out Day. We've got Pride now. I mean, we're just going to be celebrating as we should be all year long. And
Right.
certainly we're going to be celebrating this book.
I
Yes.
love you.
Say that.
You are really a seasoned journalist. You know
Yeah.
how to plug.
I try. All right, my darling. I love you very much.
I love you. I can't wait to see you in person. You are so handsome. I can't take it. Every time I see your face, I'm like, oh my God, he is so, from a les. Just letting you know.
You are too kind. I love you too. Be safe. Stay safe.
You too.
Stay very funny. Okay.
And what else am I going to do? It's my coping mechanism. And thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. So the fabulous Judy Gold right there. The book coming out at the end of July. So don't forget to pre-order right now. Now, also wanted to remind you about the flag, because maybe some of you have been seeing a pride flag that looks a lot like this. So I just wanted to give you an update on something. Take a peek at this.
For over 40 years, the iconic pride flag hasn't changed. 6 colors, each significant in meaning. Red represents life. Orange stands for healing. Yellow to symbolize light. Green represents nature and beauty found in nature. Blue symbolic for serenity. Violet representing spirit. Now meet the progressive pride flag. Designed in 2018 by a Portland-based artist, today this design is gaining in popularity. It adds 5 new stripes, black and brown, drawing attention to people of color within the community, plus light blue, pink, and white. These 3 colors represent the transgender flag.
Okay, so announcement-wise, I wanted to tell you about here in Atlanta, Lips, the dinner theater is coming back. They've got they made the announcement via Twitter, but they're going to be back in action coming up on July the 9th. The show will go on. They did a streaming show back in May that raised a lot of money for their staff, and this show or that weekend of shows, everything is going to go to the staff that works there. That's my timer telling me that I'm out of time for today's show, but not before I get this on. It is the rainbows that I asked for. from my friend Jill, and her husband sent this in from Arizona. That's my other timer. I've really gone over time today. But we're going to put up a poll on the Facebook page because I want to know what is your Pride Gay anthem. And I'm going to give you 3 to 4 choices. And then maybe you can give me your own choices as well. But you know what? We made it. We made it to the end of the week. And we're going to have all new shows for you coming up next week. And I'm really excited because 2 of the 3 guests are crazy good. The third one, I just don't know who it's going to be yet. But I'll have it figured out for you. Just remember, I want you to be good to yourself, take care of each other. And just because it isn't happening to you doesn't mean that it isn't happening. All right. I'll see y'all later. Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.